Heitor is back. 2 videos ago we saw him spending, but today the news is excellent. He got a bonus worth a quarter of his salary, and it didn't stop there either. The next month, his boss gave him another 1/4 increase based on the new amount. Now, Heitor has 3,750 reais in his account. So, can you figure out what his original salary was? Now, be careful because most people really mess up on the trick with successive raises. Shall we solve it together now? Well, this time the problem says the following. Heitor received a bonus of 1/4 of his salary. The next month, he got another 1/4 added to the new amount. Knowing that now he has 3,750 reais, what was Heitor's original salary? Look, if he received a bonus of 1/4 of his salary, that means the salary was divided into 4 equal parts. And this bonus corresponds to one part of that total of 4 parts. Writing this in algebraic terms, it looks like this. Let's take the salary and add this bonus, which is 1/4 of the salary. Representing the salary here as one whole. Why one whole? Because the salary is 100%, right? And 100% means a ratio out of 100. It's 100 over 100, 100 divided by 100 equals 1. That is, the salary corresponds to one whole, plus the raise, plus 1/4 of the salary. Let's solve this sum here. Shall we solve it using a mixed number? We take the denominator of the fraction, multiply it by the whole part. Here it's going to be times, and then we add the numerator. So it will be like this. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 from the numerator of the fraction here, that's 5. So 5 over the denominator, we repeat it. Let's repeat the 4 here. So after this first increase, this first bonus, he ended up with 5/4 of the salary. Should I represent the salary as x? 5/4 of the prepositions of in math mean multiplication. So 5/4 of the salary, which I'm going to represent as x, okay? This here is the salary after the first raise. Then the question says this, look, in the following month, he received another quarter on top of the new amount. So in the second month, I'll even write it here, look in the second month. In this second month, he received another quarter on top of the new amount. So let's calculate this increase. Here, 1/4 of the new amount times the new amount, which is 5/4. So times 5/4. When multiplying fractions, we multiply the top by the top and the bottom by the bottom. So 1 times 5 equals 5 over 4 times 4, 16. That was the new raise, the new increase he received. 5/16 of x. So let's go. Let's take the new salary, which is this one here, 5/4 of x, and add it to this new bonus. So let's take here 5/4, which is the salary with the first raise, plus the second raise, which is 5/16, okay? Here we have a sum of fractions with different denominators. We find the LCM between the denominators, and the LCM between 16 and 4 is 16 itself. So we put our new denominator here, which is 16, which is the LCM. We take this LCM and divide it by the denominators of the fractions. 16 divided by 4 is equal to 4, I'll put it here, and 16 divided by 16 is equal to 1. Now we multiply these results by the numerators of the fractions. Here, look, 4 times 5 and 1 times 5, okay? So, multiplying here, look, 4 times 5 is equal to 20 plus 1 times 5 is equal to 5. Taking it here, look, 20 plus 5 is 25, so it will be 25. 25/16 of the salary. This fraction represents the salary after the 2 raises. Got it? But the question says the following. Look, knowing that now he has 3,750 raised, that is, this amount he has after the 2 bonuses he received, corresponds to 25/16 of x. Let's find the value of x, which is the salary. So we just need to take here, look, 25. I'm going to put here, look, 25. 25/16 of x equals 3,750. Let's take the 16 that's dividing and move it to the other side, multiplying. So it's going to be like this. Look, 25x is going to equal 3,750 times 16. Well, before solving this multiplication, 3,750 times 16, I'm going to take the 25 that's multiplying x and move it down dividing. Look, continuing here, x is going to be equal to 3,750 times 16 divided by 25. Why did I do that? Because 3,750 is divisible by 25. Solving this division, I'll let you do it yourselves since I've already done it. 3,750 divided by 25 is 150. So I'll write here, x equals 150, which is this division, 3,750 divided by 25 times 16. Solving the multiplication, 150 times 16 equals 2,400, which is Heitor's salary before the 2 bonuses. Here, look, what was his original salary? The original salary was 2,400. Whoever picked letter B here got the question right. Exactly, there are other different ways to solve it. If you solved it differently, let me know in the comments. Well, after that Heitor problem, I picked out 3 questions from Vunesp and now from 2025 that follow the same logic. Fractions of what remains. Increases, including a final bonus for you to solve on your own. Get your paper and pen ready and let's go to the screen. This second problem is from Instituto Unique, now from 2025, which says the following. An administrative assistant must organize 2,400 files into boxes. He already organized 2/5 of the total in the morning, and in the afternoon he organized 1/3 of what was left. Determine the exact number of files that have not yet been organized by the end of the day. Pay attention. There are multiple ways to solve this. Pause the video, try it yourself, and tell me your approach. I'll share a tip to solve this question faster by breaking down the fractions. For now, let's forget about this value here, 2,400 files, okay? Now what does he say? He has already organized 2/5 of the total in the morning. And he organized 2/5 of the total. He organized 2 parts out of a total of 5 parts, which means there are 3/5 left to be organized in the afternoon. Got it? The question continues as follows. In the afternoon, right here, in the afternoon, he organized 1/3 of what was still left. Well, what was still left? 3/5, right? To be organized in the afternoon. Now think with me for a moment. And in the afternoon, did he organize 1/3 of what was still left? There was still 3/5 left, right? He organized 1/3 of that. He organized 1/3. He organized 1 part out of a total of 3 parts. So there are still 2/3 left to be organized, 2 parts out of a total of 3. So I'll put it here. Look, 2/3 of what was left still weren't organized in the afternoon. So I'll put it here. Look, 2/3 of what was still left, which is 3/5, were not organized. We have a multiplication of fractions. We multiply the top by the top and the bottom by the bottom. But there's a 3 on top and a 3 on the bottom, so we have a multiplication. We can simplify this 3 with this one. 3 divided by 3 is 1, you see? So it will be 2/5 of the total. Since the total is equal to 2,400, let's calculate here. 2/5 of, look here, multiplication. 2,400, well, multiplication of fractions by a whole number. We multiply the top part, which is the numerator, by the whole number and repeat the denominator. So, look, 2 times 2,400 is 4,800. We repeat the denominator, which is 5. 4,800 divided by 5, that's equal to 960. In other words, the exact number of files that were not organized at the end of the day is 960. Whoever chose option C here, look, got the question right. If you solved it in a different way than I did, let me know in the comments. Okay, let's move to the third question. A Vunesp question from 2025, which says the following. A company has a fleet with a certain number of vehicles, of which 1/6 are pickup trucks. Among the remaining vehicles, 2/5 are motorcycles and the other 24 are passenger cars. What is the number of motorcycles in this fleet? Pause the video and try solving it yourself before checking my solution. Let me know in the comments. I'll now show the solution step by step. Let's get organized. We know that 1/6 of the total fleet are pickup trucks. So I'll write it here. 1/6 are pickup trucks, okay? Now, among the other vehicles, let's think this through. If 1/6 of the total are pickup trucks, the rest are the other vehicles. 1 part out of a total of 6 parts are pickup trucks, so 5 parts out of 6 are left for the other vehicles. So, the other vehicles make up 5/6 of the total. Now, the question says the following. Look, among the other vehicles, that is, among these 5/6 of the total, 2/5 are motorcycles and the other 24 are passenger cars. So then 2/5 are motorcycles, okay? I'll write it here. Look, 2/5 are motorcycles. Well, if 2/5 of the other vehicles are motorcycles, then 3/5 of the other vehicles are passenger cars. Do you agree with me? 2 parts out of a total of 5 are motorcycles. So 3 parts, which is what's missing to make 5 parts, are passenger cars. We know that there are 24 passenger cars. So we can figure out how many of the other vehicles there are. I'll calculate it here. I'm calculating here. Look, 3/5 of the other vehicles, that is times the other vehicles, which I'll represent by D, is equal to 24 vehicles. I'll take the 5 that's dividing and move it to the other side, multiplying. So continuing here, look, 3D will be equal to 24 times 5. I'm not going to solve this multiplication now. I'm going to take the 3 that's multiplying D and move it to the other side of the equation, dividing. So I'll continue here. Look, D will be equal to 24 times 5 divided by, why did I do this? Because 24 divided by 3 comes out evenly. That's 8, right? Look, 24 divided by 3 is 8. So D will be equal to 8 times 5. We conclude that D is equal to 40. In other words, the other vehicles are 40 vehicles. Now, 2/5 are motorcycles, which is exactly what we want to find. If 2/5 of these vehicles are motorcycles, and we know there are 40, let's calculate. Let's calculate here. Look, 2/5 of 40, 2/5 times 40 is equal to 2 times 40, 80. So 80 divided by 5, which is equal to 16, that means the number of motorcycles in this fleet is 16 motorcycles. Whoever chose option B here, look, got the question right. Now, if you solved it differently than I did, leave it in the comments. But wait, don't leave just yet. I have this final challenge for you. Solve it and tell me in the comments. Which option did you choose? So did Heitor get rich or not? Well, if you enjoyed this lesson and want to master math to finally pass competitive exams in 2026, I have an invitation for you. Check out my course Matematica do Zero, 80 plus on the exam. The link is right here in the first pinned comment and in the video description. Oh, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment saying, Heitor 80 plus, so I know you made it to the end. A hug from Professor Robson Lears, Mathematicamente. Alright, see you in the next class.